When I was a kid, Halloween meant more to me than Christmas ever could. Yeah, sure, most kids lose their minds over Santa and the mountain of presents under the tree. But for me, October was sacred. The first crisp wind of fall, the leaves crunching underfoot, the smell of distant fireplaces. It all meant Halloween was coming, and I was in love with it. A lot of that was because of my older brother Ben. He was the king of Halloween in our little neighborhood. Every year, he turned our shared room into a costume laboratory. We'd spend hours drawing ideas, cutting up cardboard, painting old clothes. Ben never just bought a costume, he became it. And he pulled me into that world with him every single October. Our mom had just one rule: be home before 8 o'clock. No excuses. She said it every year, no matter how old we got. When you're 7 or 8, that doesn't seem unreasonable. We didn't know any better, and we always got plenty of candy in the early hours anyway. But the year Ben turned 13, everything changed. That Halloween was colder than usual. I remember because I had to wear a sweatshirt under my skeleton costume, which made me feel bulky and uncool. Ben had gone all out on a vampire look. Handmade cape, fake blood, face paint, fangs that actually fit his mouth. He looked awesome, but that afternoon I could tell something was off. He kept checking his phone, pacing in the kitchen, and dropping hints about some real party happening on the other side of town. It's just a few kids from school. A bonfire, maybe some pizza, he said, trying to act casual. But Mom wasn't having it. You know the rule, she said, calmly but firmly, while stirring a pot on the stove. Back before 8, same as always. But I'm 13 now. I can handle it. I'm not gonna get kidnapped walking home at 9, Ben shot back, a little too loud. Ben, she said, turning to face him, spoon in hand like a judge's gavel. I said no, and I mean it. He stormed off upstairs. I didn't follow him right away. I just sat at the table, listening to the bubbling stew and the quiet ticking of the wall clock. Eventually, I crept up to our room and knocked softly. What? He mumbled. Can I come in? Silence then. Whatever. His costume was laid out across his bed, and he sat hunched over on the floor, arms resting on his knees. You okay? I asked. He nodded, barely. I'm still going. You heard Mom. She doesn't get it, he said. She's just scared of stuff that doesn't exist. But what if she's right? She's not, and I'm not going alone. You're coming with me. I froze, but I don't want to get in trouble. You won't. She won't even know. We'll get candy, go to the party for an hour, and be home by 10. Easy. But the rule, I'll protect you, he said, meeting my eyes. You trust me, right? I did. More than anything, he was my brother, my hero. That night, we left the house at 6 like we always did. The neighborhood was buzzing with kids in masks and costumes, dragging plastic pumpkins and pillowcases from house to house. Porch lights were on. Jack-o'-lanterns flickered. It felt like every Halloween before it. Safe, fun, exciting. At 7:40, Ben tugged my arm. Let's go. We cut across 2 blocks and down a side street I didn't recognize. Where are we going? Jake's house, the party's there, just a little further. I hesitated but kept walking. We reached the house at 7:52. It was chaos. Kids running across the lawn with glow sticks, music thumping faintly through the windows, and a folding table piled with soda and candy. Parents were pulling away in minivans after dropping off their kids. Everyone had sleeping bags and backpacks. "Wait, is this a sleepover?" I asked. Ben looked surprised, then shrugged. "Guess I missed that part. No big deal. We'll say hi, hang for a bit, then bounce." My watch beeped. It was 7:58. "I don't know, Ben," Mom said. "Just 10 minutes," he said. "We'll be inside, not out. It's basically the same thing." But I could feel something was off. The street was a little too dark. The air felt heavier. Still, I followed him. We were about to walk up the driveway when Ben paused. "What's that?" he whispered. "What's what?" He was staring at a side street, one I didn't remember being there. There were no lights, no cars, no sounds, just a faint glow at the end of it, like a single flickering street lamp. He started walking toward it. "Ben?" I called. He didn't answer, he just kept walking, slow and stiff, like he was being pulled. I ran after him, panic climbing up my throat. The street was lined with fog. I don't know how we didn't notice it earlier, but it was thick and curling, like smoke from an invisible fire. At the end of the street, under the only light, was a house. It was a house that didn't belong. Old, rotting porch, broken shutters, no lights, no sound. Like it had been ripped out of a nightmare and dropped into our town. Ben stepped onto the porch. "Ben, we need to go. Now," I begged. He didn't respond. He was staring at the door like it was calling him. I saw something move, a black cat sitting perfectly still near the top step, eyes wide and unblinking. It made no sound. Ben opened the door, and then he walked in. I don't know why I followed. Maybe because I was scared to be alone. Maybe because I couldn't let him go in by himself. Either way, I crossed the threshold. The house swallowed us. It was dark, impossibly dark. The air smelled of damp wood and dust, and something sickly sweet like rotting fruit. There was a staircase right in front of us. Ben went up. I followed step by step, the boards creaking under us. At the top, a single door stood half open. He pushed it the rest of the way and stepped inside. So did I. Then the door shut behind us. The room was cold, so cold my breath fogged up. The walls were bare, no furniture, no windows, just shadows stretching and shifting like they were alive. "I don't like this," I whispered. Ben turned to me. His eyes looked clearer. "Me neither." That's when we heard it. A slow dragging sound, like something heavy scraping across the floor. It got closer, closer. Out of the darkness it emerged, tall, twisted, skin like melted wax, peeling in places to reveal raw meat and bone. One hand was normal, if you call 5 jagged yellow claws normal. The other ended in a rusted metal hook, dripping something black. No face, just a void, like something had carved it out. It looked right at us. We screamed. Ben reached for me. "Run!" But we didn't move. We couldn't. Then it lunged. The hook caught Ben's side. He screamed, high and raw, and collapsed. "Go!" he yelled, voice cracking. I ran. Down the stairs, through the fog, past the cat, past the street that no longer looked familiar. I ran until the party house was in sight, lights glowing like a lighthouse in a storm. I pounded on the door, screamed until my throat burned. A woman opened the door, her face going pale when she saw me. They pulled me inside. I couldn't stop shaking. I told them everything, every awful detail. They didn't believe me. Not really. My mom showed up an hour later. Her face, when I said Ben wasn't with me, broke something in my heart. The police searched. They found nothing. They called it a missing persons case. Suggested he ran away or got lost. Said the trauma was making me imagine things. But we moved before Christmas. Packed up and left without saying goodbye to anyone. Mom never talked about it. Not once. As I grew older, I tried to convince myself it wasn't real. That I'd imagined the creature, the house, the hook. But I never forgot. And every Halloween, I get this pit in my stomach. A few years ago, my aunt moved into that same town. Her son is 7 now. He loves Halloween. I warned her. Don't let him out past 8, I said. She laughed it off. Oh, please, that's just an old wives' tale. But I know better. I lost my brother to that town's secret. Don't make the same mistake. Wherever you are this Halloween, get your candy early. Be back inside before 8. And if you see a street that wasn't there before, don't follow it.